Can we just get a damn time machine and press the fast forward button to this regular season already? I'm like a junkyard dog out here, scrapping for material. Like, what do we got? Kenny Pickett got married. Robert Spillane got married. A lot of reporters or analysts are talking about the Steelers as being a team that's slept on. We've been saying that. Like, come on. This isn't news. Kenny Pickett's making the rounds, or at least making some headlines. You got at least probably 4 or 5 articles out there, just like sound bites talking about Pickett being a hard worker and that the Steelers are going to go as he goes in the upcoming year, and like he has all the potential in the world. Again, we've been saying that. It's just a fucking desert out here for content. I honestly might have to pull out the old mailbag gimmick for tomorrow's show. I don't know if you guys would be interested, but if you want, drop a comment or drop a burning question you have, and I'll make it a topic or two for tomorrow's Big Deke News. Honestly, I probably should be doing that anyway on like some type of regular basis, whether it's weekly, semi-weekly, on like a Friday or Saturday. But yeah, if you guys are interested in that, maybe drop a comment or a question or two. I'll make it a topic. But through my scouring of the internet for today's show, I did luckily find something I think would be interesting to talk about. It was an article done by Jake Rowe of Bleach Report. The headline is, Veteran Free Agent Contract Steelers Must Consider Before Training Camp. He lists Yannick Ngakoue, Jarvis Landry, and Kyle Van Noy. So let's go over those 3 players and give the thumbs up or the thumbs down on whether or not the Steelers should actually bring them in. First, with Yannick Ngakoue, I would say, hell yeah, for all the same reasons why the Steelers would be interested in bringing in a Chase Young. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Except that Ngakoue is actually more proven or just better throughout his career than Chase Young. I think Young has the upside, but Ngakoue I don't think has a season where he's had less than 8 sacks, and he's coming off of a 9.5 sack season just last year with the Colts. And we wouldn't have to give up any assets to get him, like any draft picks or anything like that. Now, he may be more expensive than Chase Young on the cap hit, because there was that thing floating around out there that if Chase Young got traded, he'd only be like 5.5 or 6 on whatever team got him's cap hit. But with Ngakoue, I'm guessing, I think his contract last year was like 12 or 13 million. I don't know if we're getting anything less than 10. Could you get the Steelers' famous discount for like 7 or 8? But my concern is I don't know how much Ngakoue is looking to be a third wheel at this stage of his career. Again, coming off of that 9.5 sack season with the Colts, he's still in his prime, 27 just last year. He'll be someone's like bona fide starter, probably be their first edge rusher. I don't know if he's trying to come here and be behind Highsmith and TJ Watt. Plus, he was just talking about in an interview that he's looking for like a home for the next like 2, 3, 4 years, not just like a one-stop, 1-year contract. For the actual quote says, for me personally, I've been to a couple stops, and instead of doing these visits, I'm ready to have a stable home and just to be able to be on a multi-year deal. I can be able to ground myself and start on things, really focusing on my family and trying to start a family, things like that. That doesn't really seem like what the Steelers would be trying to do if they brought in Yannick, because we're already trying to pay Highsmith. You got TJ Watt on a big deal. Like, you're probably just bringing in Ngakoue for a 1-year deal in this like window where you have Kenny Pickett on a rookie deal and you have a bunch of young players on offense that you haven't had to give a second-year contract to. But the aspect that is in the Steelers' favor is Ngakoue is looking for a championship caliber team. Says, at this stage in my career, being in my late 20s, I definitely want to play for a contender, play for a team and an organization that wants to win a Super Bowl. That's one of the things on my agenda, is to be able to help and contribute to that. Hopefully I can gain some great interest from a contender. So there's that. I would give the thumbs up to the Steelers signing Ngakoue, though, at the end of the day. I think the contract's gotta be less than 10. Can we get it in that 7 or 8 range 1 year? Because as time goes on, I don't think Ngakoue's number is going to be going up or anything. Yeah, I assume it's going to be less about a multi-year big-time contract and more about just, hey, are you going to try to play in 2023? And it's probably going to be on a 1-year deal, and that's what I think the Steelers could offer as time goes on in this offseason. Now, the second name he mentioned was Kyle Van Noy. I don't think this would be a bad play. I just don't think he's the pass rusher that Ngakoue is. But Van Noy's versatile, can play some inside, can play edge rusher, and he'd be more on the cheaper side. Like last year's deal that he had was only like $2.5 million with the Chargers. So I'm assuming it's not going to be anything more than that. He's another year older. I do question, though, how much the Steelers would value his versatility right now, considering we just brought in Nick Kwiatkowski to that inside linebacker room. So if I had to pick just a straight-up edge rusher, it's Ngakoue, no question, over Van Noy. But Van Noy would be a little bit cheaper, and he would bring some of that versatility. Also, a former Super Bowl champion, was under that Flores regime. So, I think he would fit in with the locker room, but I'm iffy on this one. It wouldn't kill us, but it's not something I'm out here pounding the table for. And then the last name he mentioned was Jarvis Landry. To put it simply, hell no. I think Landry's overrated, and the Steelers receiver room is already loaded. So I have no clue where my man Jake got this idea from, but it's a bad one. But to recap, Ngakoue, I would say yes to, as long as it fits within the Steelers' salary cap budget. And then with Van Noy, I wouldn't be against. I mean, if it actually happened, I'd be like, cool. All right, we got some added depth, a good veteran presence for the locker room. And then with Jarvis Landry, you just heard what I said there. Definitely no. But before I sign off, just want to give a heads up. I did a little rebranding on one of my second channels, Deke Gaming, to... It's called Deke 2 now. So basically, a lot of the stuff that I do outside of Big Deke News and the Steelers content for this main channel, I'm going to be doing over there. So the gaming content is staying. I'm going to put the golf content over there too. No more Big Deke Golf. Big Deke Investments, you guys know what that is from social media. I'm trying to do daily vids on that, where I just break down daily sports picks and whatnot, and just kind of go through the journey with that. I think that'll be fun. And then probably going to start dabbling in just around the league big topics, or around sports big topics too. So that's just Deke 2. That's going to be just a smorgasbord of a bunch of content. If you guys want to check that out though, go over there and subscribe. I'll drop the link in the description. But that's it for this episode of Big Deke News on a Thursday. Like I said, if you have any questions you want to drop, that'll be featured on tomorrow's episode. Drop them down in the comments. But ultimately, I hope you guys enjoyed and stay chilling. Peace.